The call comes while you are doing something completely ordinary. Washing dishes, watching something forgettable, half asleep in a chair you have sat in 1,000 times, and then your phone screams, or a neighbor pounds like they're trying to break the door down, or the sky outside turns a color it has never been before, and in that exact moment, the world you knew 3 seconds ago stops existing. No instructions, no rehearsal, no calm authority figure telling you which way to run, just the sudden, violent understanding that where you are standing right now is about to become somewhere you cannot be. You have 5 minutes, maybe less, and every single second you spend standing still is a second the danger behind you does not waste. Here is what nobody tells you. The danger is not outside. Not yet. The danger is inside your own skull. When real stress hits, not traffic stress, not deadline stress, but your building is on fire stress, your prefrontal cortex goes partially offline, the rational part, the part that sequences priorities and makes decisions 3 steps ahead. What takes over is the amygdala, ancient, fast, emotional, the part of your brain that kept your ancestors alive on a savanna by making instant, feeling-driven choices. On a savanna, that is a survival advantage. In a smoke-filled exit with 5 minutes on the clock, it will make you grab a photo album and leave your medication on the counter. This is documented. Wildfire evacuation researchers found survivors consistently reported grabbing items they themselves later described as irrational. Photographs, a specific blanket. One man grabbed vintage baseball cards and left his diabetic wife's insulin behind. She survived. Barely. That is not a character flaw. That is not weakness. That is biology executing a program written over 200,000 years of human survival. Your brain does not know the difference between a predator in tall grass and a structure fire on the 14th floor. It only knows threat. And when threat arrives, it stops consulting the logical you and starts running the emotional you. The emotional you loves things. The emotional you assigns meaning to objects. The emotional you will absolutely kill you if you let it make decisions in the next 5 minutes. So understand this before anything else. You are racing against the fire or the flood or the gas leak. You are racing against the version of yourself that is about to make emotionally driven decisions with life or death consequences. And that version of you shows up the second the alarm does. Which means the system that saves you has to be built right now while you can still think. One bag, not a suitcase, not a giant duffel you cannot lift at a sprint. A backpack with straps, something that keeps your hands free, something you can run with. If you cannot run with it, you cannot take it. Stage it at your exit point today, because in the moment you will not have time to find it, fill it, or think about what goes inside. Inside that bag, the most powerful survival tool is not a weapon or a gadget or 3 days of food. It is paper. A waterproof pouch with your identification, insurance documents, medical records, prescriptions, and bank information. Paper copies, not on your phone, not in the cloud, on paper, in your hands. Because disaster zones kill digital infrastructure first. Government systems in crisis default to paper. Always have. Survivors from Hurricane Katrina with physical documentation received aid an average of 11 days faster than those without. 11 days is the difference between a hotel room and a highway overpass. Print everything. Put it in the pouch. Put the pouch in the bag. Do it today while the version of you that can think clearly is still running the show. Medications go in next. Not food, not electronics. Medications. The human body survives 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 0 hours without insulin, blood thinners, or seizure suppressants if you depend on them to function. And yet, documented evacuation data shows people grab food at dramatically higher rates than prescriptions because hunger is a sensation you have felt. A cardiac event from missed medication is one you have not felt yet. 7 days supply minimum, not 2 days, 7. Because disaster timelines are always longer than official estimates. Always. If it needs refrigeration, stage a small insulated case with an ice pack right beside the bag. 30 seconds to grab, potentially the difference between alive and not. Cash, $500 in small bills, 10s and 20s. The grid goes down, and every card reader, ATM, and mobile payment terminal in your evacuation zone goes with it. This is not a theory. This is documented behavior in every major grid disruption on record. Cash is offline currency. It does not need a signal. It does not need infrastructure. It buys gas when pumps are running on generator power and only accepting physical money. It buys a motel room before they fill. It buys food, water, and in documented cases, information about road conditions from people who know the area and you do not. Leave without it and you are standing in a FEMA line that stretches 3 blocks in both directions, waiting on an institution that is already overwhelmed, under-resourced, and days away from reaching you. Your phone will fail. Accept it now. Battery drains under stress faster than you expect. Cell towers in disaster zones overload within the first hour. In seismic events, infrastructure attacks, and severe weather scenarios, they go down entirely. Write your communication plan on paper before any of this happens. Every member of your household needs to know 2 physical rally points, one close, one farther out, and the name, address, and phone number of an out-of-state contact who becomes your information hub. Local lines overload, long-distance lines stay clearer longer. That contact becomes the relay. Everyone checks in with that person. That person coordinates. Put the paper in the bag, because the phone with every contact saved in it may be lost in the wreckage before this is over. A blade, not a weapon, a tool, a knife, a multi-tool, a box cutter, something that cuts rope, tape, packaging, wiring, clothing. Tools multiply your capability. Tools solve problems before they become threats. Something warm, a jacket, a hoodie, a blanket rolled tight and slung under your arm. Evacuations do not happen at noon in good weather. They happen during storms, blackouts, structural failures, and industrial accidents. Cold disables you in under an hour. Warmth is not comfort. Warmth is mobility. One meaningful item. This is not sentimentality, this is psychology. Disaster mental health research shows people who left with 0 personal objects had measurably worse long-term psychological outcomes than those who kept 1 personal object. One item maintains identity continuity under extreme stress. It is a legitimate survival tool, but it is one. It fits in the bag, and it does not get grabbed instead of the medication or the documents or the cash. Everything else burns. Everything else floods. Everything else gets left behind. And eventually, remarkably, that becomes okay. Here is how you move. Not blindly, not in a panic, not with the crowd. Crowds become dangerous bottlenecks. Crowds move slower than danger. Find space, side streets, service routes, paths others overlook. Distance is survival. Every step increases your odds. Do not stop to answer questions you do not have answers to. Do not go back for one more thing. Do not look back at all. Looking back is a mechanism for slowing down. Your future is forward. Your chances are forward. Everything that matters from this point on is forward. When you reach your first stopping point, a shelter, a checkpoint, a clearing, you stop. You check your water. You check your medications. You check your direction. You check your people. Then you move again. One bag. Documents, medications, cash, communication plan, blade, warmth. One meaningful item. That is the list. Not because it covers everything, because it covers the things that have already killed people who thought they were prepared. The version of you sitting calmly right now, with full cognitive function, with time, with the ability to think 3 steps ahead, that version of you is the only one capable of building the system that keeps the panicked version alive. The emergency does not warn you, it does not negotiate, it does not wait while you decide what matters. Decide now, pack now, because in 5 minutes, the only thing standing between your family and a very bad outcome is a bag you either packed or you didn't. And if you hesitate, you become one more person the evacuation team never finds. Move with purpose. Tell this story later.